ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we have been discussing uh, the pastime of Putana from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the 6th chapter. So last time we were discussing about how Putana had come to the house of Nanda Maharaj and in a disguise of a beautiful young lady, and she picked up Krishna in her lap, and Krishna actually closed his eyes. When he saw Putana coming, Krishna closed his eyes. So we have been discussing about the reasons as given by different Vaishnava acharyas. Why did Krishna close his eyes? So far last time we concluded with the reason that woman who is actually cruel and duplicitous should not, I think that was one of the reasons, woman who is cruel and duplicitous should not be seen by anyone. So Krishna closed the eye. And also another reason that we discussed was Krishna was thinking, if I look at her through compassion or anger, in either case, she will attain either impersonal liberation or she'll go to hell. No. So, in order to avoid seeing her through compassion or through anger, Krishna closed his eyes. So, let's continue seeing that further reasons as contemplated or given by our Vaishnava acharyas. For Krishna, his two eyes are considered Shashi Surya. Shashi is moon and Surya is sun. So the sun and moon are considered two eyes of the Lord. In the Purusha Shukta prayers also you'll find, and universal form descriptions. So the two eyes of the Lord are considered sun and moon. So sun and moon, they were thinking, this Putana, she is wicked, hard-hearted, and balaghatini. She is the killer of small babies, children. And she has come here to Gokul to fulfill the purpose of sinful Kamsa. Now, Krishna, he is the Supreme Lord. Whether he gives her liberation or sends her to hell, that is his desire. But as far as we are concerned, that is sun and moon, they are thinking, if we are concerned, we are worshipped by the saintly persons. No. And saintly persons, by worshipping us, generally there are, two kinds of people who worship sun and moon. The sun is worshipped by generally the Vaishnavas. So Vaishnavas who worship sun, they attain liberation, they attain spiritual world through the pathway of sun. Sun actually makes arrangement for them to leave this world and go to the spiritual world. And those smarthas who actually want to enjoy the material life in the higher planetary system, they worship moon. Okay. So those who worship sun and moon, they either attain spiritual world or they attain heavenly planets. The sun and moon are thinking Krishna gives her liberation or sends her to hell, that is up to him. We are closing our path. Putana is not going to the spiritual world. Sun is thinking, through my path, she is so sinful. I cannot let her go. And moon is thinking she cannot come to the heavenly planets either. So Shukla Marga and Krishna Marga, the Marga of this actually explained in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also. So liberation, going to the spiritual world is through Shukla Marg, through worshipping the sun. And Krishna Marg, through worshipping moon, one attains again Punarjanma in the material world, but in the heavenly planets. So sun and moon, they decided, we are going to close our path. She cannot enter into our path. So thinking like that, sun and moon, they shut their path. And that's what actually Krishna's closing eyes indicate. Another reason is a person who is of wicked intelligence. That means a person who is by nature very wicked, just like Putana. Even if he or she is of one's own caste, one should not see such a person. Okay. So, eyes of Krishna, they are thinking, eyes, whether my eyes or your eyes, they are all same category. You can say same caste. They belong to the caste of eyes. So, eyes of Krishna are thinking, Putana's eyes, they are also eyes, they belong to our same category. They are our own same caste. But they belong to a very wicked person, Putana. So though they are our same caste, but we shouldn't even look at them because they are very wicked. So thinking like this, Krishna closes the eyes. The eyes close themselves. They don't want to look at the eyes of Putana. Now, the blinking of eyes is called Nimesha. Why it's called Nimesha? There's actually very interesting instance. So Bhagavatam and Vishnu Puran, they actually describe this instance in the 11th canto of Bhagavatam and also in the Vishnu Puran. In the 4th Amsha, 5th chapter, this Leela is described of Nimi Maharaj. So Nimi Maharaj, he was the king of Videha. So one time, and Nimi Maharaj was a great Vaishnava. He was a pure devotee of the Lord. So perhaps he was in the Treta Yuga time. So the Yuga Dharma was performing yajnas. Okay. So the Nimi Maharaj, he wanted to perform yajna to please the Supreme Lord. So he told his guru, Vashishta, that Gurudev, I want to start non-stop yajnas, for rest of my life. So please help me. So Vashishta said, I already promised Indra, the king of heavenly planets. So I will go and perform the yajnas for him for next 500 years. And then I'll come back and start yajna for you. And of course, this was Treta Yuga, so people used to live long life. So 500 years was not a big thing. But Nimi Maharaj, he did not reply anything. He did not tell his guru that I will wait for you, or he did not say that I will not wait for you. He just kept silent. He heard his guru saying, and then Vashishta left to heavenly planets to perform the yajna. So in the meantime, Nimi Maharaj started thinking, the life is so short. The death may come at any moment. Waiting for 500 years for my guru, wasting so much of my time and not engaging in Krishna's service. So he engaged Gautama and other rishis to start yajnas. He thought, when my Guru Maharaj comes, he will again take it. He can pick up from there, but we'll continue. So he started performing yajnas, worshipping the Supreme Lord. So, that Vashishta Muni, he completed the yajna for Indra and he got, very good remuneration from Indra. Indra, the king of heavenly planets. So he gave a lot of dakshina to Vashishta Muni. So Vashishta Muni came back to the palace of Nimi Maharaj and he saw Nimi Maharaj already performing yajna with the help of other rishis. So, and of course, that time Nimi Maharaj was sleeping. He was taking a rest. So the proper etiquette would have been Vashishta Muni would have waited and then he would have discussed with Nimi Maharaj, why you did you disobey my instruction? I told you to wait for me, right? But Vashishta got very angry. And when Nimi Maharaj was sleeping, he just cursed him. This Nimi, he is my disciple, but he's disobedient. He has disrespected me, disobeyed my instructions, so I curse him, he will die. He should die immediately. So Nimi Maharaj got up and he heard about this curse. And then he actually, because he's also a powerful, king, he's a Rajarishi and also is the great Vaishnava himself. So he said, wait a minute, Gurudev. You wanted to perform yajna for Indra for getting hefty remuneration. And you told me to wait for 500 years. 500 years, a big amount of huge time. Yeah. I should just wait for you and should not perform any service to the Supreme Lord. No. So just being greedy out of, for getting some dakshina from the king of heavenly planets, you rejected my proposal and you went to heavenly planets. And then after coming back, without discussing with me why I started performing yajna, you unnecessarily cursed me. So I curse, you'll also die. No? So then Nimi Maharaj gave up his body and Vashishta also gave up his body. And of course, Vashishta was born later on by the combined semen of Mitra and Varuna. When they saw Urvashi, they discharged semen. And then through that semen, Vashishta was again born. But Nimi Maharaj's body, when it fell down, the sages and the ministers of the king Nimi, because they knew Nimi Maharaj was such an exalted personality, they preserved his body in the oils. So, and then they started performing yajna for the Lord. By the dint of those oils, Nimi Maharaj's body remained fresh, as if, just died. This moment he had died. It did not deteriorate. So, when the demigods were pleased, and the Lord was pleased, and they appeared at the end of yajna, the sages told that let Nimi Maharaj revive back from the dead. And the demigod said, all right, because they are capable of doing that. But Nimi Maharaj, his soul was there and present. He said, no, 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 please wait, wait, wait. I don't want to enter again in the material body. No. Because when a soul gets separated from the material body, it's extremely painful. And I don't want to experience that pain again. Let me remain without material body. Let me reside on the eyes of all beings in this world. So demigods gave him boon. All right, Maharaj Nimi, from today onwards, you will reside on the eyes of everyone in this world. So, the Lord comes, of course, Krishna's body, Satchidananda, is not material body. But when Krishna comes to this material world, he also obeys the rules of the material world. So he allows Nimi Maharaj also to reside on his eyes. So Nimi Maharaj was sitting on the eyes of Krishna. He was thinking, this Putana. Then therefore, because Nimi Maharaj resides on the eye, therefore the blinking of eyes is called a Nimesha. That's one of the reasons why Nimesha is called. So when Putana came, Nimi Maharaj is thinking, she's Balaghatini. She's so cruel. And she has come to kill Krishna here. Now, Krishna, he is Supreme Lord. If he wants, he can look at this sinful woman through his internal eyes. But through these eyes, she is certainly not fit to be seen. Thinking like this, Nimi Maharaj closed the eyes of Krishna. Now, another reason is, of course, Krishna's eyes are two sun and moon, as we discussed earlier, sun and moon. So, Krishna was thinking, if both of my eyes are open, that is Surya Ashrita, or moon is also called Dviraj. So, if my eyes, which are Surya Ashrita and Dvijaraj Yukta, if these two eyes are open, then Putana, who is actually Tamoguni, she is born in Tamoguna. By the dint of moon, she will be recognized. Everybody will be able to see her that, oh, she's actually vicious demon. And there'll be hindrance to my Leela of, drinking the milk and poison from her breast. And my other eye, the sun, will actually burn her to ashes. So she should not be recognized and she should not be burned to ashes when I haven't even started my Leela of drinking milk and poison. So Krishna wanted to perform that Leela, and Putana should not be recognized before Krishna performs that Leela, and she should not die either. Krishna was thinking, as we discussed last week, Krishna was thinking, oh, she's the sister of Bali Maharaj. She so much wanted to feed me milk. So I had to perform this Leela to fulfill her desire. Till the time I perform my Leela, she cannot die. She cannot be recognized. Nobody should put hindrance. Otherwise, Rohini and Yashodha will take me away from her. So, thinking like this, Krishna, he closed sun and moon, his two eyes. She should not be recognized. She should not die. Now, Krishna was also thinking, I am super soul and I'm seated in everyone's heart. So, if I keep my eyes open, then ignorance in the heart of all the living beings. Because if Krishna's eyes are open, if Krishna is glancing at us, the ignorance in the heart of all the living beings is detected and destroyed. So, this should not happen because still the time of liberation of all the living beings has not yet arrived. So, he's thinking, taking Putana to be like all the living entities, their time of liberation has not yet arrived, So the ignorance in their heart should not be detected. So therefore, let me close the eyes. Because Krishna knows, it's not that Krishna is, he doesn't want living entities to be liberated from the cycle of birth and death. But Krishna, as a supreme well-wisher, as a super soul in our heart, he knows what vasanas, what desires we have. And as a great friend, he's always eager to fulfill our desires. And therefore, he accompanies us and he guides us how we can fulfill our desires. So he doesn't want to enforce liberation on us. As long as the living entity himself or herself does not desire to attain Krishna's lotus feet, Krishna does not force anyone. So therefore, thinking like this, Krishna thought, I don't have to remove this ignorance from the hearts of living entities, because the appropriate time is not yet come. So therefore, thinking like this, Krishna closed his eyes. Now, Hamsas and Bakas, there are two birds. So, to be indifferent to the objects which are unworthy to be seen, that's the nature of Hamsas or Paramhamsas, like great souls. They're also called Paramhamsas, right? Their comparison done with Hamsas. So, Krishna, being the Supreme Lord, he always sees good in others. He doesn't see bad qualities in others because that's not something fit to be seen in anyone. So Krishna's eyes can be compared with Hamsas or Raja Hamsas, the king of all the Hamsas. Because Krishna, as a Supreme Lord, he always tries to see a little spark that the living entity has to serve him. And Krishna makes arrangement to fan that spark. So Krishna's eyes, they are like Raja Hamsa, always trying to avoid that is unworthy to be seen and always trying to look something good in others. So, although Hamsa is white in color, but there is another bird which is called Baka. Baka is also white and looks very beautiful bird. So Hamsa is Sattvic bird, but Baka or Bagula is actually a Tamoguni bird because he eats fish and, therefore it's considered Tamoguni. Now, another name of Putana is Baki because she is sister of Bakasura. And also because Vishnu Purana actually explains, no, not Vishnu Purana, the Harivamsha Purana explains that when Putana came to Braj Bhumi, when she came to Gokul, she took the form of Baki. She actually took the form of a female Bagula, Baki. And that's how she landed in Vrindavan. And then she disguised herself into a beautiful woman. So she's sister of Bakasura, and she came as Baki, as a tamoguni bird. So Krishna's eyes, being Raja Hamsa, Hamsa doesn't want to even look or associate with Baka. So thinking like this, the Rajahamsa eyes of Krishna, they thought, we don't want to look at this Tamoguni bird, Baki, Putana. So therefore, the eyes shut themselves. Another reason Vishwanath Yogi Thakur actually explains is Krishna wanted to show to Putana as if he's afraid of her, like an ordinary child, because Putana had gone to kill many children, and all the children, actually it's very interesting. Although elderly people, they cannot recognize the witches and ghosts, but ghosts and witches can be seen in their original form by children. It's actually a fact, a documented fact. Children can actually see the ghostly being in their original form. Therefore, children actually start crying in the presence of ghostly beings. Although, others may think, hey, why the child is crying? But as soon as the ghost is present, the child starts crying because they can see it. So Putana, when she had gone to kill many children, the children would, out of fear, would close their eyes. So Krishna wanted to show Putana that he is also an ordinary child, like an ordinary child, and therefore he's afraid of her, and therefore he closed his eyes. And Krishna knew that he's going to kill Putana. So when Krishna looks at anything, that becomes auspicious. But Krishna wanted that the violence which is going to be done to Putana, of killing her, which is his Samharaka Shakti is going to do it. Krishna has Samharaka Shakti. Krishna doesn't kill any demons. That is his Samharaka Shakti, which actually does all these functions. So the Samharaka Shakti is going to kill Putana, and Krishna did not want it to touch that violent activity through his eyes and make it look auspicious. Because Krishna, when he touches anything, when he glances at anything, becomes auspicious, as Kunti Maharani also says. Tava ikshitaye. Krishna, everything is auspicious simply by your glance. So Krishna did not want to make the violence of killing Putana to be auspicious, touched by his glance. And of course, Krishna also wanted to avoid the shame of killing a woman who's posing like mother, and he didn't want to see the death of Putana. And Krishna, because he's Antaka, Putana, when she could see at Krishna's eyes, she could see that, oh, he's Antaka. He's actually the destroyer of me. So she shouldn't feel afraid. And also to pretend, to hide his teja, to hide his extraordinary, because person's teja and potency can be seen through the eyes. When you look into the eyes of a pure soul or a great soul, you can see that teja in their eyes. So Krishna wanted to hide his teja and in his extraordinary position as the Supreme Lord. So therefore, Krishna closed his eyes. So with this, we conclude all the different reasons given by the different Vaishnava acharyas. And we will actually study 758. So we'll continue after Krishna closes his eyes, what transpires in this Leela. So thank you very much, devotees. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Very well, Mati.
Excellent, Prabhu. I have not heard this many reasons earlier, Prabhu. I have heard some reasons, but total how many reasons, Prabhuji, you have mentioned? Like more than 20?
Around 26, Mataji.
26. By different acharyas, right? Not one
Yes,
acharya.
different Vaishnava acharyas have given different reasons.
Wonderful, Prabhu. I'm happy that it went live actually on YouTube, right? Today also it went live, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, it was live.
Yeah, it was live. Thank you so much, Prabhu. We have to note down these 26 reasons. Very, very wonderful, Prabhu. Thank you so much for sharing.
Hare Go Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, dear devotees.
Thank you, Brahmaji.
Hare Hare.
And about
Kalpatarushya, Vaishnavebhyo namo.
Namo Namo.
Gopi Vaishnava.